At Marwah, I look after the pre-sales organization in the APAC region from Broadcom, especially the storage networking business. I'm going to share a couple of thoughts around with you to give you a background around Broadcom, right? What exactly Broadcom is. Brocade is being acquired by Broadcom about a year ago, but not everyone knows what exactly is Broadcom. Broadcom is advanced. If I can draw your attention to this chart, what I'm showing you, we are about a $20 billion company worldwide when it comes to revenue. We have multiple businesses, and in fact, as of today, we have 22 individual BUs within the single umbrella of Broadcom. The most important part of this chart, what you're seeing as of now, I would say 75% of our employees are world-class engineers, right? And out of those 75%, I would say that more than 60% of those are PhD holders in electrical engineering or electronics engineering when it comes to the R&D team of ours. In addition, we have been investing a lot in our R&D houses, where we invest almost $3.5 billion every year just in R&D to bring more innovative technologies for the customers in any domain, whether it is the enterprise customer, it is a cloud-based technology customer, or it is a government customer. Most of the time, our technologies are under the hood. Nobody knows about that, right? In fact, our GTM, our go-to-market strategies, has always been working with our ecosystem partners. So, if you are responsible for a government agency, you are procuring your data center equipment, there is 95% possibility you are using Broadcom somewhere in your data center. In fact, you are sitting in this room, having your handheld devices, we are there as well. So the latest technology that has been introduced in the mobile sector, for example, you have your smartphone that can be charged wirelessly. That is the Broadcom technology. Sensors, the touchscreen sensors you have on your phones today, that is the Broadcom technology as well. Moving on, I would like to share with you the heritage of the company. So the heritage of the technology started way back. I was not born. My dad was a teenager that time, back in, I would say, 1961. That's where Hewlett-Packard Enterprises started, and then that evolved in Agilent Technology, which was acquired by Avago Technologies. Avago Technologies is a well-known name in the data center space. They were very big in the chip manufacturing, as well as the networking equipment that has been used, the gigabit Ethernet equipment that's been used. Those small form factor SFPs that goes into your switches are made by Avago Technologies. Then, as we evolved, we acquired a couple of companies on the way, which is LSI Logic. LSI Logic is well-known technology vendor that was providing controllers for storage. In addition, moving on, that was the biggest acquisition, I would say, about Avago Technologies, that back in 2014, they went with LSI, and then 2016, they decided to acquire world's largest chip manufacturer, which is known as Broadcom. So we continue to keep the name of Broadcom, and then the Avago Technology is just become the sales organization under the umbrella. Later on, back in 2016, Broadcom decided to acquire the leading technology company Brocade, which is the innovator of storage networking technologies that goes into the data center, and most of the CIOs sitting in this room would not know that you are running Brocade technology, who is looking after actually your data center networks when it comes to storage, right? We have a diversified business, as I just mentioned. Wired infrastructure, so the previous speaker mentioned about smart cities, right? So that is one part of the game for us, I would say, where the wired infrastructure as well as the wireless infrastructure goes in there. The Wi-Fi routers you use at home, it has Broadcom in there. The wired infrastructure is Broadcom in there. Then enterprise storage, 25% of our business actually is out of the storage infrastructure. Right? Data is being new currency in the digital era these days. Data is the most critical and important piece of it. Right? And the security of that data and the communication of data is the critical part as well. Whether it is a government agency or it is an enterprise or it is a bank. Right? Ultimately, it comes to end user experience. If you are a government agency, you are providing online services to your end users who are the citizens of this country. If they are not having a good experience, you are not actually meeting their expectations. So that's where technology has to be rock solid when you are looking into the digital India going forward. So this is the overall offering what Broadcom is doing. If I start from the left side of the house when it comes to IP networking, almost 90% of the Ethernet infrastructure runs on Broadcom. Looking into the servers, you see all these vendors, and in fact, you work with all these vendors every year when your budget comes out. They provide Broadcom technology in there. But why Broadcom was so interested to acquire Brocade 2 years ago? The reason was they wanted to bring more innovation to the customers so that they can drive right from the server, the application, all the way to the storage. So LSI is part of storage. And on the server side, they have HBS, host bus adapters, that's connected to the that connects application servers all the way to the storage through a network which is known as fiber channel network. So fiber channel network, that's where Brocade comes in. After we got acquired by Broadcom, we are in fact able to provide better innovative technologies to the customers like you. In fact, everybody's talking about all-flash arrays these days, right? Why everybody looks into all-flash arrays is because it provides much better application performance. 6 out of 7 all-flash arrays, you see the vendors here, use Broadcom technology in there. In addition to that, we recently announced the acquisition of CA Technologies. So in the previous chart, I was showing you pretty much a hardware-driven innovative organization, and the missing piece was how software can enable the technology what we are building in our chipsets. Everybody is talking about machine learning and artificial intelligence. When we talk about machine learning, that comes out of the technology we are building in our chipsets, in our hardware. And artificial intelligence-based algorithms are going to come in through this acquisition, so that we can bring in better technology and better innovative software to the whole organizations, whether it is banking, government, service provider, telecom service provider as well. In that, they have a very large portfolio, and there are a lot of areas where we do integration. We are, so like the previous speaker mentioned about vendor lock-in and all, right? So if you see that, this is where actually we merge technologies. Automation is something is going to drive everything going forward, and this is our responsibility how we can automate the things what we would like to do. Machines are not intelligent. We make them intelligent by telling them what needs to be done. So automation IT, operations management, identity and access management. When we talk about smart cities, that is another important piece. Identity and access management, security is the biggest challenge for all the CIOs in any industry. Right? We have to make sure that any data passing through not only the IP networks and our storage networks is encrypted and secure. The networks we have been providing in the data center for the last 30 years never been hacked because it is a dedicated network for the data storage. So just to give you an idea where we stand when it comes to the revenue share and the market share, the only competition we have in storage networking is Cisco, and we have 83% market share. Why? Because the customers, they believe in our technology, and we bring more innovative technology every 6 months. Every 6 months. Autonomous storage infrastructure is the way we are moving forward in that space. When we talk about digital era, so smart cities and anything smart, right? How does that tie to the data center? Because data centers are the one who will be processing all that information, keeping that information, right? So what we see going forward is that flash is going to actually drive everything. In fact, I was just talking to my friend David in the morning on my way here. He was going through a report. By 2020, almost 90% of the arrays will be NVMe capable. All the arrays. And it will be in the data center. So NVMe is a new technology when it comes to data storage. If you have some storage background, you will see that we have been talking only one language to a storage box or a disk, is SCSI. This is the first time we are changing our language to the storage, which is NVMe based, which is very fast. We are talking the latency in nanoseconds and microseconds. Milliseconds just doesn't have any space in data center anymore. And then all these technologies, when this comes in, right, definitely is gonna bring complexity, right? So how do we mitigate those complexities is by automating the infrastructure. So this is the statement from one of my professors from MIT, and it has a very strong message. You see that, let machines do the things they do better than people, and the people do the things they do better than machines. People can do much better things and let machines do their things. And how do we do that? Automating the process. Right? And I will leave you with that thoughts, and we will have a lot of conversation going forward. Again, thank you so much for joining.